What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first ever cleanup podcast. In this podcast, it's just going to be me and my friends, maybe some family every once in a while, just talking about internet stuff, things that we want to do. Today, I think we're going to go over at least two things that are going on in the world right now, and something that's going on internet-wise. And we're going to give a little bit of backstory about like who we are and what we do. So, let us get right into it. Alright, boys. So, introduce yourselves.
I don't want to. You're recording no too long.
Okay, yeah. That's Lance, obviously, that you can hear. And then the other guy
James.
is James. He's awesome.
What's up?
We
What's up?
we all like him more than we like Lance. And that's a fact.
Oof. Got him.
Even Lance likes James
That's an
more than he
inquiry
likes
that I-
Lance.
Well,
I even like
that's
Lance
also
more
an
than I like
inquiry
Lance.
that I like myself. Same with you, Peyton.
You have
Yeah,
you have a
introduce
good
yourself.
point. Oh yeah, I'm Peyton, aka the janitor, and this is the cleanup podcast. So, before we get into like backstories and stuff, and like James's music career, because it's awesome, and we will get into that. I just want to talk to you guys about if you guys have heard about the whole Trisha Paytas controversy right now.
Nope.
Have you ever heard of Trisha Paytas at all?
Nope.
James, have you?
That's gonna be a no for me, sir.
Oh,
No, and definitely I think I've heard of it, but explain it to me.
okay. So, there's this lady who had like a ton of plastic surgery and stuff. She wanted bigger boobs, bigger everything, blah 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 blah. Just very recently, she came out saying that she was deciding to become a transgender and go from female to male.
That's a lot of money
Okay.
wasted.
Yeah, oof.
And she got a lot of backlash on it. Like, a lot.
A lot of backlash for wanting to become transgender, or a lot of backlash
'Cause
for the
she-
plastic
She, in a way, kind of made fun of them. She kind of made fun of it. And she wants to identify as a man,
surgery?
but she wants to keep the female body parts and do everything else as a female.
Okay.
So she's getting a ton of backlash for it.
But
And
isn't that like what a lot of the people who do can't when they can't afford that?
Oh yeah, but she can afford it. She,
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, I'm confused because why would you go through all that
Just in the end.
all that endurance of plastic surgery and all the emotions and thinking that goes into making changes to your appearance like that, and then now all of a sudden she wants to identify as a man, but she doesn't. Okay, so she wants to identify as a man, but she doesn't want to biologically be one.
yeah.
Yeah.
She, as she stated in her video, because she released a video on this, and that's why it like blew up. She said, "I identify with men better. I'm basically a gay man who likes to dress in drag."
Okay. Well, I mean,
And
she's a gay man, so she's not really.
She's a
Okay.
straight woman but likes to dress and drag. That's essentially what she said,
Yeah,
but
that's-
more complicated terms.
but she
Yeah, that's-
wants, but she has the mindset of a man. She feels like she's more masculine than she is feminine.
But before we continue on that, she wants to keep all her women body parts and still do women stuff. That's not a mindset of being a man.
Well, wait, that doesn't make sense though. So she wants to identify as so she has male thoughts about men, like sexually.
Yeah.
Is that right? Well, that doesn't. So she wants to be a woman, dressed as a drag, because that's
Yeah.
all that means.
She wants.
The only thing she's changing
I
is
think she is
identifying.
trying to go to a man. Now that I'm reading into this a little bit more, so she said that from a young age she felt penis envy. She,
Interesting. Okay, so she
I want
wants to have a penis.
yes.
Well, that's fine. I mean, if that's, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing. I mean, this is a very revolutionary thing that we're getting into with our generation. Um, and it's something that a lot of people probably wish they could do before, but hasn't become a reality until now. And so it's really interesting to see how people are reacting to it, how people are reacting to it, and how they are reacting to themselves becoming the opposite sex. That's very interesting. I also think it's very interesting that there is a lot of backlash. Like it would maybe not maybe interesting is the wrong word. Maybe it's it's like a culture shock kind of thing. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, you used to be a dude. Like if you walked up to someone on the street and they were like, I used to be a dude, you'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a very common thing yet.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why she's facing. I don't know. I haven't really read into it, so I don't know anything about it. Why she's facing backlash, but
She's a female to male transgender drag queen.
that's really weird. I don't know why. I mean, I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you just be a woman then?
Yeah, but most men that become drag or like drag queens generally, I think, more identify as women, or they
do.
want to identify as women. So it's very, very confusing. She's basically a female to male back to female,
Yeah.
That's so weird.
and it's just really confusing. Her video that she uploaded has terrible, terrible, like, interaction. Like, there's a lot of, there's 2 million, 2.5 million views, 105,000 dislikes, and 27,000 likes. That's not a good proportion.
No.
And 47,000 comments. And
What?
if you were to go through all the comments,
Most
85% of them are hate comments.
Yeah.
See, me though. Like that bothers me.
It's
Like
it's
as
crazy.
someone who, and I don't know what it's are about. Are they reacting to the video? I mean, what's the video about?
It's just her explaining what
Exactly
she's
what we're talking
what
about.
she's doing. Yeah.
And so the hate comments are they about a specific thing she said, or are they more along the lines of
Just the
she
fact that
was
she has previously said in multiple videos that she doesn't like labels, and now she's labeling herself as a female to male transgender drag queen. And
okay?
she said that she cut her hair or something, and she woke up one day and didn't have to do it, and she liked that more.
Well, there are a lot of ladies with short hair. That doesn't mean you have manly thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
my mom has short hair.
So does
She's
my cousin. And
your
a lot
average
of
mom.
other people.
I mean, I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I don't know. I think like backlash towards being like the amount of hate and transphobia is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah.
Um,
It's
Are
just
they about
really
Are the
weird.
comments about transphobia, or are they about the
They're just about
hypocrisy of what
her
she's done?
because she's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
It's about the
well, I mean,
hypocrisy.
yeah, you shouldn't be a hypocrite either. But I mean, I
Yeah,
understand
that's
sometimes.
I have a lot
Sometimes
of guy friends and can relate to them more, but I am a drag queen gay transgender man.
that
But
is
every time
interesting.
you say that, it just sounds like straight
Okay,
woman with more complicated terms.
this just sounds like an attention thing to me.
It
The
is,
more we're
Yeah.
talking
basically.
about it, the more this sounds like an attention thing.
Because
Also, one of the comments says, where'd it go? I don't like being the center of attention. But then somebody pointed out and saying, isn't that literally her brand? Which it
Yeah, that's
is.
what that sounds like. That's what that
Yeah.
sounds like. And if that's the case, then I think what she's doing is
she's
pretty
Just
just
shitty.
causing a stir on social media to get more views. whether or not they're good or not. She still gets the views.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like the whole, I don't know, especially when you combine all the plastic surgery and then you throw in the crazy labels and the hypocrisy, it just sounds like a cry for attention.
It
It
really
is.
is.
It really is. There's
Now,
nothing else
and
to it.
I want to be very clear. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just speculating. I don't know anything about this person. So
Yeah.
Neither do I.
I just want to be on the record for saying that I'm speculating, but it does
Yeah.
sound like a need for attention, and that's fine. You can that's totally okay to like, you know, to want to be the center of attention, to go out of your way to get attention. I just don't think the manner that she's doing it is correct.
There's a certain
If
extent
that's the case,
to
yeah,
become
like there's a
doing something like that.
right,
No.
exactly, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Yeah, if she's now, but if it's like a sincere thing, then that's completely different. Like then she shouldn't be receiving hate comments because that's not cool. You can get your point across without being an asshole, and that's like my whole philosophy on life. Like, just don't be an asshole. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're gay, straight, fucking purple, yellow. I don't care. Like,
Orange.
just don't. Yeah, just don't be an asshole, and we don't have a problem. I mean, I'll be friends with anybody. I'm friends with a lot of people who have completely the opposite view of me. Like, that's totally normal. Like, I consider myself to be like a classic liberal. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of like politically and philosophically.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I don't go out there and I'm like, dude, I hate you just because you're the opposite. You have the
Exactly.
opposite mindset of me. That doesn't bother me at all. Like, just don't be an asshole. And I think
You
Ellen
can be
DeGeneres
whatever
makes
you
very
want.
good point with that.
Just don't be a dick and shove it down my throat. That's
Yeah.
all it comes down to.
Stay out of my business and I'll stay out of yours, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
like, what's this whole controversy with Ellen DeGeneres? I'm sure you've seen that the other day where she was.
I actually didn't.
She was photographed at a football game
With
sitting next to George W. Bush.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like,
Okay, I did see that.
why are you sitting with George W. Bush?
A Republican when you're
conservative Republican. And she just came out and she was like, guys, when I say be kind, right? She said when I say be kind to other people, that means everyone. And that's true.
yes.
Be kind to people. We don't have time. We're not here long enough for
To hate on certain groups of people.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
It really is.
Absolutely ridiculous.
You know, I may not like a person either, but I'll still try and be nice to them unless they give me a reason to not be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if someone's gonna come at you, don't put up with bullshit, but
Exactly.
but don't go after people.
Yeah.
That should be like the mindset, like the mentality, overall awareness of human beings should be, don't be an asshole. That's all you have to do.
Exactly. There's a difference between also being a friendly ass like how I am to Peyton or he is to me, compared to fuck you, you know, you're a douchebag for no reason.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I did watch a video on the Ellen DeGeneres thing. It popped up in my Facebook newsfeed about how she was sitting next to W. Bush, whatever, and what you said.
Like, I have many friends, and one of them are George W. Bush or something like that, and I can be friends with them, whoever I want to be.
Yeah, be nice to everybody.
I know about that.
Exactly. Like you can be friends with people who don't share the same views as you. That's okay. That's not taboo. You can do that. That doesn't make you a traitor to whatever organization you claim to belong to. You know, like whatever side of the fence you're on, it doesn't matter. You can always reach your hand over the top.
In
Yeah.
this example, I'm mostly on a Republican end, but I'm still friends with many people who are liberal, and I can still talk to them and have fun with them, and not have to worry about that because we're friends. Political doesn't run our lives.
What are you talking about?
Right. Except for like
Socially wise, okay, Lance, you're a Republican. You cannot be friends with a Democrat. Okay? It
So
just can't happen.
Like, you know, most people who are liberals are Democrats, which means I wouldn't be able to be friends with James socially.
God forbid two people of different
Exactly.
classes are friends. It's just, that's a crime against humanity if I've ever seen one. It just can't happen, alright?
And I wouldn't be able to be friends with you, Peyton. You've got a lot of liberal beliefs, which there's nothing wrong with that, but
I like to identify myself as an independent or a centrist because
I
don't
do
care.
agree with some of the stuff from the liberal end side. I like to be in the middle. I don't like to be just known as a certain Republican. There's some stuff from the other end that I do and that I like what they say and I like what they do.
Same. That's how I am. That's why I consider myself a classic liberal. It's not the same as
What we
nihilism.
The
know now.
try hard
Not the same.
libtards, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's what's funny is classical liberalism is more along the lines of uh
For the people.
of what conservatives and modern Republicans used to believe.
hmm Everything's for the people, not
Yeah.
for the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very yeah. It's more it's interesting because I do have there are a lot of viewpoints that I agree with um on from people on the right, and
hmm
another one of those major issues is gun control. A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of a lot of people are like everyone has all the guns, and then other people are like nobody has guns at all, and there's very few middle ground there. And I don't it's not that I the things that I agree with are the right to are the is the right to
Bear
is
arms.
self defense. Yeah, the right to bear
Yeah.
arms. There's
That's what
nothing.
the whole Second
There's
Amendment
no
was
reason
about.
why. Yeah, like there's no reason why you should not be able to do that. That's silly. The
I,
fact that you would say, or that one would say rather, the government is coming should come and take all your guns is
mhm.
complete bullshit. They should not
They're
have the authority to do that.
They don't have the
However,
authority to do that.
They don't because the Second Amendment.
however,
It's
Unless it
not
passes
like
through the House and the Senate and the president.
but
yeah,
even
no,
that
no. I'm
they
saying
can't
that there are
bring
people that
right
hypothetically
because
want that to happen.
Yeah, and like that whole thing to me is just absolutely ridiculous. Like I do understand the point of like gun violence is a huge rising thing in our country and it does need to be stopped, but taking
because
away guns from people who are going to be safe with them
law-abiding citizens.
is just ridiculous because there are going to be people that are going to be able to get the guns and
Black
not.
market. They get black market guns already.
Yeah,
What's to stop
you
them
can.
from getting it after all the guns have been taken away from law-abiding citizens?
If a law-abiding citizen that owned a gun before were to get into or were to get mugged by somebody who wasn't a law-abiding citizen and had a gun, and the person that had given away their gun, like they're gonna get killed. They can't defend themselves in any which way, unless you are trying to bring a fist fight to a guy with a gun.
And
It's
that's not going
just
to end very well unless you're somehow trained in something like that.
unless you're from the Matrix, I just I
Yeah.
don't see it working out well.
If you're close enough and maybe you have some sort of training like karate or marine, it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, the whole gun violence thing is just irritating.
Because
Look,
the
here's where I
second,
stand on that.
right?
Let me explain where I stand on that. And I'm not claiming to have all the answers here, and I'm not the first person to say this, but
All right.
I firmly believe that the answer to gun violence lies somewhere between education and mental health. We have got,
Yep,
Oh,
as
for
a
sure.
country, we have
exactly.
got to start focusing on our education and our mental health funds.
hmm
It's just there is just not enough of it. It's just not talked about a lot. It's not. It's never brought on the table. It's never brought on the table. It's
No.
and it's part of that is I think a large majority of that has to do with the fact that people uh, want like mainstream journalism wants views, right? So they start putting things on the table like, oh, this person said they want all the guns taken away, and this person said that everyone should have. There's this never-ending argument from left to
And it
right,
always will be.
yeah, about whether people should have guns or not. And that's not the issue. The issue is not whether people should have guns or not.
It's
The issue
whether.
is people that should have guns and people that shouldn't have guns have to be educated and taken care of mentally in terms of like. And I'm not saying that people like shouldn't have background checks. I think background checks should
That
definitely be
should
a
be a
part of
thing.
that equation. Yeah, that should definitely be a thing. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know, people that are obviously more educated and that also have are in good mental health
hmm You know,
are less likely to kill someone. But people that are well educated and don't have good mental health are also very likely to commit a crime.
exactly.
So
It's
the two things have to go hand in hand. You can't just say, well, we have to raise the funding for education. Well, we have to raise the funding for mental health. They both have to be there. They both have to be there.
For a gun crime to happen, you've got to be willing to. The gun is just a mechanical thing that
Right.
plays into it. You've got to
Right.
be willing to pull the trigger and kill that person.
Well, look
And
what's
that's
going
how.
on in Europe. Well, look what's going on in Europe in places where guns are banned. People
Mhm.
still using knives.
Yeah. And they
I
were
mean,
trying to ban knives.
yeah, I mean,
You can't
it's
police
ridiculous.
banning knives.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Education, mental health, two
Yeah.
biggest things that are going to lower gun crimes, gun related
For sure.
crimes.
I don't remember what country it is, but I think it's like Sweden or something. Like everyone at a young age gets taught how to use a gun, and they can carry it no matter what. But they usually don't have ammo on 'em. That usually stays at like the gun range or something. I don't know how that fully works, but I've seen that before.
I've read about
They get
something like that somewhere,
taught
but I
how to
don't know
use
the
a
details.
weapon, and they are one of the lowest gun crime rate countries.
Right.
Rate countries.
But they also have really great healthcare.
That they
Exactly.
do. They really do.
And bringing up healthcare, everyone says they want to move to Canada for their great healthcare. You're gonna wait in line for an hour for that.
Yeah, waiting times is the thing, but it's not. Waiting times here in the United States are absolutely atrocious.
hmm But
So
even
I don't know.
in Canada, it's worse because the free healthcare. You're gonna wait because everyone's gonna be at the doctor, and that's um a Canadian YouTuber I watch. It says he's waiting over an hour in the doctor's office just for a simple checkup
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, let's see here. So compared to 5 years ago, the average Canadian is waiting 4 more hours.
Yeah.
So 90% of admitted patients 65 and older waited an average of 5 hours more than the previous year's average.
hmm
This is 2018. So can't even. I
So
don't
it's
even
still
know. It's
pretty
like,
recent.
yeah, it is pretty recent.
That's weird.
Damn. But yeah.
Gun control, the whole thing with it right now is just stupid, in my opinion. But
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's
And
just me.
Well, the thing is, there's no real argument happening. There's only people blaming one side or the other, and
it's back
that's
and
the way it is with
forth.
the majority of issues. People just want to blame someone else. No one's
hmm
taking ownership. Nobody is willing to provide solution. Nobody is willing to do anything. They just want to say, oh well, this side does this and this side does that, and the right's trying to make sure everyone has guns, and the left's trying to take all the guns, and
hmm
it doesn't make any sense. Why can't we all sit down and say, okay, here is a solution to the problem, or a potential one rather. Let's try it
Exactly.
out and see what happens. But no, there's none of that. People just like to argue back and forth, and especially in politicians, they like to take that matter and other matters also,
And they use that for
other
social
mainstream issues.
publicity.
Right, they use that for boosting their chances to be reelected or to be elected in general.
hmm
And the same with the left. The left, far leftists like to say, well, I take this very strong stance, and they try to use that as leverage.
What's your stance about? Are you
Yeah,
gonna take some sort of blame, or are you just gonna put it on someone else and make it look
right.
like they're the bad people?
Yeah. But
You
yeah,
know,
so I don't know.
stuff like that. Have you heard about the vaping stuff lately? How juice
Yeah, it's
flavors are
silly.
gonna get banned because of
It's
the
silly.
black market THC cards that have been sold?
Yeah, it's silly. But I think that even the FDA's admitted it, and I think a lot of mainstream journalism is coming around and saying,
Yeah.
okay, maybe it is THC vape cartridges or
Um,
whatever. But still, what I think it was Massachusetts and Vermont,
Michigan.
Michigan, that
I heard
said
say they were gonna do it.
that banned vapes altogether, and
Yeah.
Walmart stopped selling them, and all this crazy shit. Like, come on, dude.
Um.
Something else for them to regulate even more.
Yeah. You're not gonna be able to police that. That's way too hard. There's too many mainstream, not mainstream, but people that just use that stuff now in general. How are you
Yeah,
gonna police that? And
but it's
what are
also
you gonna do about
ridiculous. It's also a ridiculous argument. Like,
it? It is.
how? Yeah, like, okay, so what? 7, 8 people have died, and a few hundred
So,
have gotten injured or sick or whatever
um,
is going on. How? But hundreds of thousands of people are dying every year from tobacco products.
yeah,
No one blinks an eye.
480,000 estimated yearly from cigarettes.
No one blinks an eye. You can
Yep.
buy them
But
anywhere.
when In total, there have been 24 vape-related deaths since 1963 when it started.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
such a laughable statistic. Like
Exactly. But
more,
and now that
dude,
we've had
you're
like
more likely to die from lightning.
exactly.
I beg to differ. Okay, my uncle Steve has been struck by lightning twice and still hasn't passed on.
Okay, but you're more likely to die from being struck by lightning than you are
Yeah,
from vaping.
Yeah.
you really are.
That's
It
just crazy.
is
24
crazy.
people since 1963.
Yeah.
That's insane. And look at all the public outcry about it.
Mhm.
That's
But
crazy.
it's just like the whole gun control thing, you
It
know.
blows my mind.
Let's ban this thing because of the black market things that's happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. Lovely keyboard sounds.
You're welcome.
Over the
So,
last 20 years, the United States averaged 51 annual lightning strike fatalities, placing
Okay,
it in
there
the
you
second
go.
position just behind floods for deadly weather.
Oh man.
vaping-related lung injury cases jump to 1,299. Deaths rise to 26.
Yeah. Oh, there's been two lately now. You know, I've known there's been quite a bit of injuries, but like they're just using deaths. You know, think
Yeah.
how much gun makes injuries and vaping. You know, obviously we've had
Right.
what, a
And
thousand something, like you just said.
half of the vaping uh deaths or whatever, it's more just people are not owning up to the fact that they were doing it with THC cartridges
Yep.
And that they
instead.
were buying them illegally. My whole thing
Yeah,
on that is buy your shit from a dispensary or a vape store. Period.
Yeah. You know,
That's all you have to do.
the stuff in vape juice has glycol, and that's the same stuff that goes in your cake frosting.
I can tell you the ingredients of my vape juice right now.
Exactly.
Vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, and nicotine
Yep.
and flavoring.
it,
That's it. That's all there is.
That's the same stuff right now. Here, I can just pull out my bottle.
But the problem is with the THC stuff.
Vitamin E.
Well, the vitamin E acetate, yeah, that's one thing, and there's a couple other things they're looking into. But these are all
Supposedly
methods that they
cyanide.
use that are extremely cheap. Dude,
Mhm.
you can Google right now THC vape carts, and you will find on front page of Google some knockoff, off-brand, sketchy looking cart websites that
Yeah.
you can
yeah,
order stuff from. That's where the shit's coming from. It's
Yeah.
black and white. It's right there. It's right in front of your face. All you have to do is quick Google search. It's right there.
Mhm.
And the fact that people are questioning this still baffles me completely.
it
Well, no one
baffles
does
me
their
too.
research. Everyone just listens to social media.
Yeah.
Everybody
Well,
just
me,
listens to that
my
one news site that's gonna get it wrong, and
Exactly. A lot of the news
boom,
sites
it
are
my
explodes.
local news, dude, my local news. There was a couple times where I would see 2 or 3 posts per day about it, per day,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I would comment every single time like, guys, stop spreading this misinformation.
Do some research first.
You're journalists. It's what you do.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
All right, to move to a different topic. So, James, you said that you're more of a uh, classic liberal, and I know Lance, you're very much so Republican.
I'm honestly in the middle on all this stuff.
You lean more towards Republican, though,
For a
from
lot of stuff. I
for
can't.
what I've
Yes. I'm more to the
heard.
right, but I'm still in the middle.
Yeah, I'm like basically dead center. Like I agree with one side and other stuff, and one side on the other. It's very back and forth for me. But the Trump impeachment.
Trump impeachment.
They're
D-
pushing
Um,
for something that's not gonna happen.
Uh, it's looking more and more open to happening by the day.
here's
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
um,
Here's where I stand with that. If this guy, if the current sitting president of the United States is doing things that he should not be doing, he should be reprimanded for those things.
Yeah, because
I mean, plain and simple. Bottom line, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. If he's doing things he shouldn't be doing, then he shouldn't be in office, and that stands for any president. It doesn't matter if it's President
exactly.
Trump, if it's former President Obama. If they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, then they shouldn't be in office. If they're doing things that do not represent uh, a the majority of the American people, and b the best interest of the American people, then what are they doing? Then why are they there? They shouldn't be there. That's where I stand on that. It doesn't matter. My personal opinion on Trump doesn't matter, even though I think he's a lying slob. I don't think he's fit to be in any sort of office. I think he's a racist,
He's a
transphobic.
terrible speaker.
He's a terrible
And
speaker.
terrible thoughts.
His grasp on the English language is absolutely abysmal. He has uh, a terrible attitude all the time. He's a pathological liar. He's psychopathic. He's sociopathic, and there's no reason that he should have ever been elected into office to begin with. But my personal opinion of him aside, as a citizen of the United States, if he is doing things that he should not be doing, then he should not be in office. Now, I've never said, oh, impeach him every time he does anything. Oh, impeach him, impeach him, impeach him. However,
Can I explain something really quickly though about
yeah,
impeachment?
yeah.
Even if you're impeached, you don't always get removed from office. And I'm pretty sure no one's done the research on that. You don't. They probably think you get removed from office with impeachment, which you can be, but
If it
you still
goes
go
to something
through.
else, yeah.
Yeah, you can stay in office and be impeached. Nixon was.
But Nixon resigned.
Well, yeah, he resigned after his impeachment because
And
he looked terrible.
that's what I think a lot of people are hoping for, is that it's going to be kind of another Nixon in the Watergate scandal, where he's going to be blasted across social media as an impeached president, and then he's just going to resign. Which
But
I
he's
think
too
that
hard-headed.
he is way too, hard-headed and prideful to leave on his own. I think the only way that he's going to leave the office is if he's escorted out
Yeah.
by like the NSA or whatever it's called. I think that what he did is horribly wrong. Like, the whole thing with the Ukraine is just, that's not okay. And
What exactly was that about? Because I never looked into it.
I don't remember exactly what it was.
He called for them to do an investigation on Joe Biden and his son,
Oh.
which is not in the Ukraine's bounds to do so. It's
Yeah.
not in anyone's bounds to do so.
And
It's
then
not even in
Joe
his bounds to
Biden
do
still
so.
in the
It's
American?
none of his business.
In America?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Either way, I mean,
just, it was
It's,
horribly wrong and shouldn't have been done at all.
though,
But
but I mean,
basically, he felt threatened by Joe Biden and tried to do something about it.
that's because he has room temp IQ. That's obvious.
That's a compliment.
That's true.
I've never heard that be used as an insult, but that's funny.
That's true. Yeah, he's.
I think he's a little bit below.
I mean, listen to great speakers. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of President Obama, although I did like him. I did vote for him in 2012. But like, listen to Obama speak. He's very pronounced. He's very articulate. His vocabulary is extensive. That says a lot about your character as a human being, also as an elected official. And then compare him to President. And then go listen to Donald Trump talk. He sounds like a raging baboon all the time. And it's like, dude, everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is negative. Everything that he says is brainwashing, negative, uh, belittling.
Most of the time, it's just absolutely
It's just
ridiculous.
He just spews verbal diarrhea all day long. And it's like, dude, you have nothing better to do? Like, as the President of the United States? You know
His
what I mean?
Twitter game is just ridiculous.
It's insane.
I don't think.
I will say that he's very stupid about that hurricane thing.
Oh yeah,
Nuking a hurricane.
oh my god, that was just something else.
I honestly thought that was fake because of the meme. I'm like, no, he's got to be smarter than that.
Nope,
But
it was real.
yeah, it was real.
Let's nuke the hurricane.
What?
It's great.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
All right.
Eat.
Yeah, I'm with you, like almost all the way, James.
Yeah.
I just don't care about Trump in any which way.
Yeah, he's just insane. That's all it is.
I personally don't see how he got elected in office either. It blows my mind. And how anybody can still support him after all of the crap that he has said.
I don't either.
It's just
Absolutely.
absolutely
Daily.
ridiculous. But unfortunately, as of right now, there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yep, that's also true.
The only bad part is that the chances of him winning the next election are very, very high because
Are they?
because a president that's already in office has a much higher chance of getting reelected than somebody new being elected.
Well, that's fine, but he's scum, so I
Yeah.
don't see him being reelected.
I think it's like a 65% chance over
No,
a new election that he'll get
I doubt it.
elected.
Oh, over a new election, yes, but in general, in terms of the chances of him being reelected at all, I think are a lot lower than.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty low.
I do too. At least I hope that they're going to be. But alright. I want to I'm gonna pause this right here, take a little bit of a commercial break, and we'll continue it when Lance gets back.
Sounds good.
And we're back from the commercial break.
Hello.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So it's 4 different seasons down there in Oklahoma, eh?
Yeah, we have mid to upper 30s in the northwest, and where I am in the middle, we have 50s and low 60s, and then in the northeast we
Jeez.
have 70s, low 70s, and then in the southeast we have 90s.
Peyton, does that remind you of a certain state?
Us?
Yeah.
All the time?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm not looking forward to this winter,
Neither am I.
especially with your car. Better hope you have some tread, boy.
Yeah, no, I need to buy new tires. I've peeled out one too many times.
Yeah, you're not a very smart driver.
Here's my thing. Is I am a smart driver, I just choose to drive stupidly.
Yeah, but
when I want to.
I know you can be a smart driver. I'm not saying you're not, but I'm saying with how much you don't drive smartly, that's why I say that you're not a smart driver.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it to like be an asshole, because I know you can be.
Yeah. And
except for when you're going down Union and you find a UNI cop. This man got pulled over on a.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Union. It was University.
No, it was 27th actually. Because you had just left from dropping me off and you got pulled over, getting ready to turn into that.
No, it was University. It was like right as I crossed from. It was like right as I crossed over Hudson.
That's not their jurisdiction. If it's on University.
What, the UNI cops? Yeah, it is.
Even with the apartments over there, how far does that range extend? Because
it goes all the way through. Like, I think until it goes till Main Street, and I think Green Hill.
I don't think it could go to Main. They don't have none out on Green Hill.
They don't usually, but they can. They can have
that's way too
UNI
far.
cops out there. Yeah, it's
no one's ever gonna.
It's ridiculous.
I totally don't have James' music playing in the background of my place right now.
But yeah, I got pulled over for going. What was it, like 1 over?
30. It was 36 and a 35.
Yeah, I was going 36 and 35, and college campus cop pulled me over.
What we call run-a-cops.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Because UNI cops, if they are on that police force, they are usually cops who didn't get accepted into the main city police force. So they go to the UNI some to try and make something of themselves.
Yeah,
And they just end up being dicks.
that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
But now, let's go into James's music career. Because I want to hear about how you get started in this, James.
Huh. Well, I always liked music when I was like a little kid,
Yeah.
and I was really into it. My dad had a lot to do with that. My dad listens to really good music, and when I was a little kid, we had a pretty extensive record collection, and I would always find myself just listening to music. And I had played some sports. I played football for a little bit. We're talking maybe 11 years old. Playing sports, playing fucking. I was swimming a lot, and I tried baseball and football, and I never really enjoyed it a lot. But in fifth grade, I was introduced to my orchestra director. Her name is Mrs. Fine, and she was doing one of these little clinics where she would go to the school, and the whole school would attend at different times of the day, and she would basically, it's kind of like recruiting, sort of.
An assembly for recruiting.
Yeah, and she's playing. They were playing a song, and I was like, wow, I really love this. And uh, so I went up to her after the performance. I think my parents were there, and I told her I wanted to play music, and she was like, "Great, well, let's figure out which instrument you want to play, and then we'll go from there." And then I ended up playing the cello, and I played the cello for about 10 years. I played all through middle school, all through high school, and a little bit after. And I think around age 11, or maybe, yeah, 11 or 12, I picked up my uncle's um, acoustic guitar, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know what to do. I just started finding
Plucking the
things,
strings.
plucking the strings and finding notes and stuff. And uh, at this time, I was learning basic, like rudimentary um, music theory, and started dabbling in it a little bit. And then I just kept doing that and kept doing that, and I just really found my love playing guitar. And so, yeah, I just started playing guitar. My mom bought me a guitar from a pawn shop and a cheap little tiny box, like 15-watt amplifier. And I just remember playing in my garage and just blasting it super loud with the distortion turned all the way up. And at this time, I was listening to a lot of like Korn and Slipknot
You want to
and
know a fun fact
bands like
about
that.
Slipknot? They originated down in Waterloo, Iowa,
Yeah,
which is
dude,
our town right next
Slipknot.
to us.
Slipknot used to be my favorite. I probably have 30, 40 Slipknot shirts, hats, jackets, belts, shoes, socks, pillows, blankets. I used to have a massive Slipknot memorabilia collection.
Nice.
But yeah, so I was really into like super heavy metal, and I was playing a lot of this music, and just like, I bought some of their tab books, some of their albums, and just started learning those and playing all the time. And meanwhile, I was making friends with a guy in my orchestra class who has now been like my best friend for like 15 years. And
Nice.
so we started, listening to music together and just jamming on our instruments together. And
This is the
I want to
same
say
gentleman you make music with?
yes, yeah. So I want to say around age 15 to 16, I started writing my own music. And so I had some basic music theory. I didn't really need a whole lot. You don't really need much to do anything. You just have to kind of figure out what sounds good. And that's pretty much what I've done. I just kind of listen to what sounds good, and I'm like, okay. And so I started writing music, like really heavy metal music still, but it was more refined, more like metalcore. Um, and then around, I want to say 16 or 17, I was in junior in high school, and me and my buddy, and then a couple of other friends decided we were just going to start a band. So we started a band, and this was like deathcore, just like brutal, like I don't know if you guys ever listen to deathcore, but like Chelsea Grin, like just really like big breakdowns and just really heavy like headbanging stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up what we would do is we'd have band practice like 2 or 3 times a week, and then we would go after school, after high school, and go play venues, go play shows, and we'd pack the venues
Y'all
like
know the gig.
100, 200 people, just throwing down, having a good time. Just high school kids and people just out of high school, like probably 16 or 20 years old was the target audience. And we were, I mean, we were literally just like living the rock star dream like during high school. Like we weren't like, making money or anything, but I've never
It
cared
wasn't
about
about
that.
the money. It was
Man,
about
we were,
doing it.
yeah, like most kids, were getting out of high school, they were getting out of school and they were doing their homework and playing sports or watching TV or having a house party on the weekends, but we were playing sold out venues where people were just throwing down, getting drunk and laughing and having a good time. And we did that all through my senior year of high school. So like that was like the ultimate experience for me. Like I I knew somewhere along that line that playing music was
What you were
that's what
gonna
I
do.
wanted to do more than anything, yeah. And so and so yeah, and then after high school the band kind of went separate ways. I'm still friends with them. We still see each other from time to time, but we stopped, writing music together. And we did record an EP that's still on SoundCloud, but it's trash and we weren't very good. So I just started focusing on working full time and playing guitar full time. And I sort of transitioned into this like more like progressive metal music. Um, Bands like Between the Buried and Me, Dream Theater, Periphery, Veil of Maya, bands like those kind of really influenced me in that direction, and so I started writing music like that, and then I decided one day, like 2, 3 years ago, hey, I have all these songs that I write myself. Um, I mean, and I write everything. I write guitar, drums, bass, orchestral arrangements, obviously, because I have a strong background in that and synthesizer parts and stuff. And I was like, man, I want to record some of this stuff, but I didn't have the money to just go spend on on having someone record me and then spending money to have someone mix and master everything. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna start doing this myself. So I bought a computer from a guy and just started messing with stuff. I just downloaded some free shit, plugins, and a free DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, and I just started dabbling in the stuff and just watching YouTube tutorials and things like that, and then that's when I kind of realized, well, wait a minute, all of this electronic stuff is like it's like a different world to me. Like there's so many things you can do with the synthesizer that you can't do on a guitar. Like a guitar is a very classical instrument. Like it's wood with strings on it and some magnetic pickups. You can't there's not you're kind of limited to what you can do aside from techniques and stuff. But like as far as sounds go, um, so I just decided, well, I'm just gonna buy a synthesizer and buy some really high end plugins and go to town on the stuff. So I started writing electronic music a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago, and yeah, and then now I have an EP on Spotify, and I have
You got your
um,
stuff on YouTube.
there's a couple things on YouTube. I never uploaded the whole thing because I'm lazy,
Yeah, I've seen
but
some of it's on there. June the Void and
yeah, and I
Or of the
my
Royalty.
girlfriend is a graphic design
What is
major,
all?
and so my girlfriend did the artwork for my EP, and I did the artwork for my singles, and then I also did the artwork for my upcoming EP. That should be out soon. I've had some family emergencies going on, so that was delayed for a while, but it's going to be out soon. But then I also have project that's unannounced with a buddy of mine that we're going to be doing music and performing it in downtown Oklahoma City sometime next year. So
Lance, I told him that me and you are going to go down there for at least one of them.
What?
yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. We're going to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
playing on the street, and there's going to be street food, food trucks, pizza, beers, lots of people hanging out, having a good time. We're just going to be playing music. Going to have a little
Oh,
light
yeah.
show and a fog machine, and just kind of chilling and having a good time. But I still write and play like progressive music, progressive rock, progressive metal music. But um, nothing has really resonated with me or inspired me necessarily, I guess, as much as electronic music has. And that's it's very genre specific. I really like a lot of ambient music, a lot of house, like trance. I'm not an EDM guy. I can never get into EDM, but
You know,
so there's
you know,
very specific things.
like I said, with your music, I've never really been into electronic, but I enjoy the way you did yours compared to what I've heard from others.
Yeah, they're like, there's so many different sounds, and
And
like
you
Yeah,
put
there's
it together
guitar and there's
properly.
violin and there's cello and it's just
It's you can hear it
yeah,
in the background, but it's not overtaking anything else.
yeah.
It's just
That's
a
what I'm
slow
really trying to do.
progressive.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm really trying to mix in all of the things that influence me and that inspire me instead
Hmm.
of just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to commit to this and I'm just going to commit to that and
And
I'm going
that's
to
what.
make a record that sounds like this or that fits in this genre. I just don't do that. I just write whatever sounds good to me, and
And
whatever
you put
comes
it
out is
together,
whatever comes out. Yeah, I just try to put it together. I just try to make things thematic and
and it works
seamless.
out properly.
Yeah, well, I
You know,
appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I
one
try to
day
do.
I
So,
think if you continue with this, I think you could be big in the market. There are a
really?
lot of people who are self-made with the way you do it. No one does it like you.
That's
And
great. That's I really love to hear that because it's not that I don't want to be big or anything. It's just that I don't want to make music that other people have already made.
yeah,
I
exactly.
try
And
my
you
best to make
don't,
things that I haven't heard before. I want to be the sound that I wish there was.
yeah,
That I
you
can't
are
say that
your
I've
own
heard.
sound. From the electronic I've listened to, you don't usually hear an orchestra instrument like the cello or
Yeah.
a guitar
violin.
perhaps in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
violin too.
I love throwing that stuff in there, man. It catches me off guard even sometimes. I'm
Yeah,
like, whoa, there's that part. I forgot I wrote that, or like, oh man, that fits in really nicely. And there's so many cool things you can do. And that's what I was saying earlier, kind of going back to how how much of an open door electronic
hmm
music is. You could just do there's so I mean the opportunities are just limitless, man. You can just do so many things and you can mix so many things together. And sometimes you what you end up with is really cool. Now I will say I have a lot of songs that I have written that there's parts in there that just don't make sense, and that can happen sometimes. Like you try to mix sounds together and it just they don't mesh very well. That's totally cool. Like that happens, but it's all about the
And
experimentation.
you learn from that. You take from that.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound good with that, so they
Yeah,
can't
maybe I shouldn't put like a soft piano over like really loud drums.
exactly.
Just it just doesn't work. But there's one of my biggest inspirations for that would be a composer, an Icelandic composer. His name's Olafur Arnalds. Um, if you guys don't know him, you should check him out, and whoever is listening should check him out too. He's a wonderful, wonderful classical composer, and he throws in bits and pieces of
Well,
soft synthesizers and like soft like drum pads. Absolutely amazing. Um, he has an electronic project too called Chiasmus, and that's really good too. But the Europeans just know what they're doing over there. They always make the best music. American music sucks.
um, have you ever heard of yeah, he's an Italian instrumentalist, Ennio Morricone.
That sounds really familiar. I might have
If
him in my
you've
library.
watched like um any movie by Sergio Leone who did spaghetti westerns, he always used Ennio Morricone. And it's not exactly electronic, but I'd say, maybe if you want to learn something and see what he does with because he's in orchestra and
Really?
he does cellos, violins, trombones, all sorts of stuff like that. You know, he's um
Hmm.
really talented. He's an older gentleman, but I'd say maybe you could check him out and see what he's done.
Yeah, I might. That sounds. Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
looking for good music to listen to. There's
And
just not enough.
I've always loved
Really.
listening to instrumentals because
Yeah,
with the
me
way
too.
people do it, some
There's
do it
something
loud, some do it soft, and some it's in between.
there's something just so provoking about instrumental music that kind of polarizes me. Like,
Exactly.
if I had vocals on my music, then there's a message.
Hmm.
Then there's something's being said. I don't want to tell you anything. I want my music to tell you
To
um,
guide
about
you
yourself.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want you to be the um, what's the word? The vehicle for thought. My music should just be um,
Penny for your
not,
own thought.
no, my music should just provide the background. It
And
should just
that's
provide
exactly what your music
the
is. It's
the
great
main environment.
background.
Yeah, and, maybe it helps you meditate. Maybe it helps you
Relax.
relax. Maybe it
Hype
inspires you
you
to
up.
get up and run. Yeah, that's either way.
I
I think
sent
it's
you
really
his
cool that.
in your DMs. I sent you his YouTube channel link. Yeah. You can also
Oh,
find
okay,
his stuff on
awesome,
Spotify.
nice. Okay, yeah, I'll go look for
Both.
sure. I'm really right now. I've been into a lot of Hans Zimmer. I love Hans Zimmer. His music is amazing. Um,
Um,
watching him compose or watching his orchestra, sorry, his symphony plays is remarkable.
there's another gentleman. I think he goes by Peter Chapal. If you've ever heard of him, I, I'd have to go look at my friend's thing
I
again.
don't think I have.
He does instrumental. Some of his stuff does have lyrics, and it tells its own story. I'll have to go look
Hmm,
for the conversation, but he does do some instrumentals too.
really?
Yeah, I
That's really
enjoy
cool.
his stuff. Just
That's
gotta go
really cool.
find what his name is. Paul Shapiro, that's the name I'm looking for.
Did I just hear Ben Shapiro?
God damn it. The one I never got to finish it, but I was listening to one of his ones about see, Paul the Broken Cyborg. I've gotten a little bit into it, but it sounded good for what I've seen. I'll send you his YouTube link as well. I think
Yeah,
those
I'll
could
definitely
be
check him out for sure.
I think they could be like some sort of inspiration to you, plus more just good music in general.
Sweet. Well, yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I
Mhm.
love finding new music. So, yeah, I appreciate that.
Always, and if you feel like there's something we would enjoy, we wouldn't mind seeing that in our inbox. We
Sure.
always
You know
love
what?
learning
I'm
about
gonna link
new music.
you I'm gonna link you some Olafur Arnolds right now.
All right.
Sweet.
Check it out. It's a live performance of one of his quieter songs. Oh, that is disregard that.
If it's disregard painting, yeah. Okay, I didn't know I could delete stuff now.
This should be it. Yeah. But yeah, so but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't
Thanks
think
for
I was gonna have this much fun in a podcast.
yeah,
Yep.
thanks for having me on here. I'd
Yeah.
love to be a regular attendant if that's possible.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna be doing this. I want to do one at least once a week.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe find once or twice a week we can just hop in here and just podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's always good information to talk about.
really,
Oh yeah.
really do like the idea of having one of these.
No, I never cared for listening to that much. I've never found one that's interested
gotta
me in
market it now.
topics.
Dude,
But I
if
enjoy
you
being.
ever want some good podcasts to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, and
Oh yeah,
Of course, Joe
I love
Rogan.
I love Joe
and
Rogan. I've literally watched them all.
the
Literally, I've watched them
Misfits podcast is also really
I
good.
have yet to watch any of that.
The Misfits podcast, their first one, it's called The Poland Story. Oh my god, it is the funniest thing you will ever hear
I've
in
had
your
a
life.
recommendation about one of them where they like almost got arrested or something.
Yeah, the
From
Poland
all
story was
was it?
awesome. I think so, but that was a different one.
Yeah, that's
But
definitely.
they got kicked out of CEM Katowice.
Dang.
It was funny. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you for those who are watching and or listening to this. I need to find out how to make this into an audio only thing so I can upload it to like Spotify and Apple,
Honestly,
iTunes.
it would just have to be an MP3 thing. I'm pretty sure that'd be pretty easy to convert.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I bet you James could probably help with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
I can
thank
do
you guys for watching or listening, whatever you're doing. You'll find links for everything down below. I'm gonna link James's music
Yeah,
because
do that. Do
it's honestly awesome.
both his YouTube and Spotify, in case some people
Oh,
don't use
I'm
Spotify.
gonna link everything. It's
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's smart.
it's all just it's really great music. Like I don't care much for electronic music, but his is just so perfectly blended with everything. It's great.
It's
Thank you very much. I really
it's not
appreciate
just one genre on its own. It's many, and
It's everything. It's
it.
truly is awesome.
I'll be sure to let everyone know when new music's coming out. Also, you guys can check me out on. I have a Facebook page. I also have an Instagram page. So
send
both
us
of them are on.
send the links to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
send
send
me
you
the
links for
links
sure.
in my Discord DMs, and I will link that too. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening, whatever it is. This has been the Cleanup Podcast. Goodbye.
See ya.
Must be really blind because I can't find you on